Hello world, it's Fudge, and welcome to even more Marvel Rivals character design breakdowns. I'm an amateur character designer, and I will do my best to bring you thoughtful analyses on these characters. But of course, feel free to disagree with me, as far as I know, I'm not infallible. Twilight Duo is such an awesome design, not just because it's well constructed and visually appealing, but because it just makes sense. Ty and Tandy are New Yorkers, and giving them this classy 1900s mafia sort of look is just inspired. They look so ready to dispose of a rat in the deep city, deal with some smugglers, or beat the local mafia boss. Dagger's in her typical white, this time spiced up with some shiny gems and gold, and the black shirt and bands do such a good job at balancing this gaudy design, ensuring it's not hard to look at despite all the drip. And drip she has! Her two motifs of the dagger and the moon are on these beautiful gold chains, with the dagger looking like it's made of diamonds. She has a diamond necklace, golden bracelets which spell out dagger, her big gold belt with D's, dagger earrings, and of course, a hat like that could make even default Wolverine look amazing. They also brightened up her eyes, really making her face come alive. And look at this! She has purple nail polish to connect her with the very purple cloak. Dude! Cloak looks so freaking good! They were not afraid to use purple, and it looks absolutely phenomenal on him! Shout out to men who wear purple. Gotta be one of my favorite genders. I love how Cloak's cloak is a giant suit jacket. It's unparalleled fit and the best possible thing they could have done with this classy concept. Cloak's main motif here is the rose. Obviously there's a big gold one on his chest, but the jacket also has some rose patterns. The inner lining of the coat has rose-like swirls. Oh, and Dagger has super subtle rose patterns on her jacket. Oh, and the golden buttons have his C initial on them. And the button on his hat holds a little white feather, connecting him with Dagger. I cannot get over how beautiful their palette is. The gold spices them up but doesn't overstay its welcome. The black balances Dagger, making a more dynamic outfit. And it's just not fair how good purple looks on Cloak. He stole my 1600 hard-earned units. Maybe this is just my biases towards purple and wide-brimmed hats talking. Heck, Cloak has a purple wide-brimmed hat. But to me, this is the best Cloak and Dagger design, and I doubt it'll ever be topped. I got a number of comments asking for specific breakdowns on my last video, but by far the most popular request was Punk Child. And I'm happy to report it's a neat design. With other designs, I can point out punk/goth elements, but on Punk Child, literally everything's a goth element. The heavy spiked boots, the fishnets and spiky bands, the gothified Hatsune Miku haircut. Did I seriously just say gothified Hatsune Miku haircut? Fingerless gloves, and just the general presence of metal everywhere. The boots have X logos, and it's definitely intentional how the angle of the fishnets match the X's on the boots. Obviously, spikes are the primary motif. In addition to the spikes, we also see a lot of points. The pauldrons, belt, chin, crown, chest, armbands, and even the sword have points. Complementing the spikes without making the design more ridiculous than it already is with more spikes. Her articles of clothing tend to end off with the same pattern. The tops of her boots, the bottom of the skirt and sleeve, and her collar all share this, segmented circle with spikes. Yeah, I have no clue what you actually call this arrangement of shapes. Point is, they're visually cohesive. The sword and the horns are similar in style, but it's not similar enough to be interesting. I would have liked to see a bit more unification, maybe the horns repeating the purple and black pattern on the sword. But the sword does have an M on it, so that's sick. The legs are obviously a main focus area for this design, with the short skirt, pale skin, and all the accessories. But the face still successfully demands attention, with the lips being very red in this purple palette. Humans look at red things. If something in a design is notably red, you're probably supposed to look there. The Darkchild form does pretty much the same thing as the default skin's Darkchild. Turns the vibes up to 11, packs it with detail, and gives it that nice light contrast at the top. But what I really like about Gothchild is all the super exaggerated points. The knees, skirt, arms, shoulders, and even the haircut have these really dramatic points, communicating the brutal danger of this monster. I also love the metal spine and tail. It looks deadly as heck and reinforces the heavy metal feelings of the character. Groot's a character who's pretty hard to mess up, but what's even harder is taking a well-established design and making it better. I know it sounds silly to say Groot looks like a tree, but this is the most tree Groot's ever looked. Notice everything on him is growing upwards, telling us, hey, he may be huge already, but he's still got room to grow. This effect also naturally draws us upwards, a really smart way to do it on a character who's typically monochrome and flat. The tree elements continue. His feet are the most root-like they've ever been, and little mushrooms grow on him. I love the fungi. They add a little extra color. They communicate this is an older, more grown Groot, but it also grounds him in reality. Big trees have a lot of weird little things on them. Discolored spots, vines, holes in the trunk, fungus growing on them. This is the spice Groot designs have been missing. But the most untraditional and interesting addition to this Groot are the glowing green gems. These two orbs of nature energy sit in his shoulders, adding a beautiful and unique cherry on top of this already great Groot. These interesting orbs also serve to draw us upwards, and little hints of energy poke through other parts of him like his arms. I love how he's built like a Minecraft iron golem. His silhouette is unmistakable. Even if you don't know Groot, you'll know this is some kind of tree-ent guy. Imagine you are a character designer, faced with an interesting dilemma. You have to make a highly feminine tank. The problem is, most of the tanks in your game are massively built men with muscular bodies. And tanks need to be big for gameplay reasons. The only female tank is a 4'2" anime girl piloting a giant mech suit. I mean, you could make the woman really muscular like those depictions of barbarian women, but the problem with that, when you build the upper body like that, the character loses a lot of her femininity. So how do you make a woman look giant, strong, and imposing while retaining all that essential femininity? Well, Nettie's figured out the answer, giving her gigantic thighs. Emma Frost is teeming with X-Men motifs. The boots, the tails, the wrists, the waist, the back, the necklace, earrings, all X's. And of course, the lavish lady has tons of diamonds. I won't go over all the shiny bits, but some of the cool ones are the diamond-encrusted X's on the boots, the sparkles on the tails. Wait a minute! Look at the pattern on her waist, shoulders, and tails. They're X's, but angled so between each line is a diamond shape. They combine the X-Men and diamond motif in this singular pattern. Maybe I'm just insane and reading into it too much, but I feel like that's gotta be intentional. I like the diamond shoulder pads. They're very in character and also beef up her silhouette a bit more. But on the topic of silhouette, while she does have a very unique one that'll be unmistakable, I really would have preferred to see fur somewhere. I'm not asking for like a Cruella de Vil coat, that could be a skin, but a half cape, shoulder cape, or collar of fur could go a long way. Emma has a ton of lines in her outfit, and to further the Diamond Lady vibe, they almost always come to a sharp point. Look at the wrists, waists, and shoulders, and how all these lines come to points in one place or another. But I do have a major complaint. Why so much blue? The community's been joking and complaining for months about how similar the two blondies with white and blue suits look. I mean, I suppose Emma's different enough that you won't be mistaking her, but at the same time, I don't think Emma's ever been portrayed with this much blue. Maybe they added all the blue to match her lips? I will say the blue lips are a great detail that fit her really well, but like we went over how with Punkchild, having lips being a very unique color on a female character can be an advantage. I'd say the design succeeds at making Emma Frost look formidable, seductive, and rich, though she'd look richer with some fur. It's certainly not a bad design. Overall, it's pretty neat. I just question some of the decisions. Anyway, that concludes my video. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this series and I've really enjoyed reading all your comments. Leave a comment down below if there's a specific design you really want me to break down. But for now, you've been watching the Fudgebot, and remember to encourage your teammates. I guarantee you it'll work better than being toxic.